Have you ever wondered why our personal circumstances might reflect the state of our spiritual life? This intriguing thought leads us to the story of the Israelites who returned to Jerusalem during the reign of the Persian king Darius. These enthusiastic people embarked on the task of rebuilding the Holy Temple and quickly laid the foundation. However, they faced obstacles and were forced to abandon their work for a staggering 15 years. An unusual occurrence befell the remnant during this time. They experienced what seemed like an economic crisis. The yield from their fields was so little that it was not enough to eat or drink. Workers were not earning enough to cover their expenses, and it was as if their money had suddenly shrunk or slipped away. At this critical juncture, the Lord God spoke to the people through the prophet Haggai. He first clarified the cause behind these events and then proposed a solution, urging the people to quickly rebuild the Holy Temple. This temple bore significant ties to the future of God's people and his kingdom. The prophet conveyed God's words, saying, "You have sown much and harvested little. You eat, but you never have enough. You drink, but you never have your fill. You clothe yourselves, but no one is warm. And he who earns wages does so to put them into a bag with holes." Why was this happening? The Lord Almighty said, "Give careful thought to your ways. You expected much, but see, it turned out to be little. What you brought home, I blew away. Why, declares the Lord Almighty? Because of my house, which remains a ruin, while each of you is busy with your own house." Isn't this intriguing? It turns out that the economic conditions of believers' lives are closely related to the state of God's holy temple. When they focused all their time and energy on personal, family, and career pursuits, hoping to earn more money, the result was quite the opposite. God said, "Is it a time for you yourselves to be living in your paneled houses, while this house remains a ruin? You claim to honor me as God and Lord and often pray to me for this or that, but are you just paying lip service?" The prophet accused the people, saying, "Look at your income now. It's as if it's being blown away by the wind. It's important to take care of your family's needs, but you must never neglect the construction of God's house." Some may ask, isn't Jehovah God the creator of the universe? Why does he demand people to build a temple for him to dwell in? Isn't God a spirit that is omnipresent? Why does he need a physical house? These are indeed good questions. The Bible also states, "The God who made the world and everything in it is the Lord of heaven and earth and does not live in temples built by human hands." What God seeks is a heart of reverence. Jesus said, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." There's a little story about this. One day, a girl fundraising for missionary work on the street met an old man who had just come out of church and asked him, "Sir, can you generously donate some money for God? You're doing very well. How old are you, young lady?" the old man asked. "I'm 12, sir." "Oh, I've lived for over 70 years, and I should meet God before you do. When that time comes, I'll give it to him myself," the old man replied. See, this is the human heart. No wonder the prophet Isaiah said, "These people come near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Their worship of me is based on merely human rules they have been taught." The people facing the prophet Haggai were no different. The scriptures record, "This is what the Lord Almighty says. These people say, the time has not yet come to rebuild the Lord's house." But everyone knew in their hearts that the Persian king's decree to halt work did not pertain to the rebuilding of the Holy Temple, but to the construction of the city walls. These people were just making excuses to shirk their responsibility. If someone really doesn't want to do something, isn't it easy to come up with a few reasons? But remember this verse from the scriptures. The Lord searches the heart and examines the mind to reward each person according to their conduct, according to what their deeds deserve. To summarize, our personal circumstances often reflect the state of our spiritual life. When we prioritize our personal lives over our spiritual duties, we may face unexpected setbacks. The story of the Israelites serves as a reminder to always keep our spiritual commitments at the forefront. After all, the condition of God's house has a profound impact on our lives. So let us not neglect it, for God sees our hearts and rewards us according to our deeds.